Now, we are going to see the chapter on reproduction in plants. What is reproduction? All living things in the world reproduce, which means they produce their babies or offsprings to ensure that their kind is continued. This production of new individuals or babies or offsprings from their parents is known as reproduction. Before we pass on to reproduction, let's see the parts of plants. Do you see the picture of a plant here? Yes, and you can see the various parts. You have the roots, the stem, the leaf, the flower and the fruit. And guess what's inside the fruit? There's a seed. Yes. The parts of plants can be divided into two categories. One is vegetative, one is reproductive. What are the vegetative parts? The roots, the stem and the leaves are called the vegetative parts. What are the reproductive parts? The flowers, the fruits and the seeds are called the reproductive parts. Now let's see the two types of reproduction in plants. The first one is asexual reproduction and the second one is sexual reproduction. Let's see them in detail. First, let's see asexual reproduction. In this case, the new plants or the baby plants are produced without seeds. Yes, there are no seeds. Is that even possible? Yes, we'll see how. There are 4 ways. For now, you will learn the 4 ways in which asexual reproduction takes place. The first one is called vegetative propagation. The second one is called budding. Third one is fragmentation and the next one is spore formation. We'll see them in detail. The first type of asexual reproduction is vegetative propagation. In this case, the new plants are produced through the vegetative parts of plants. Do you remember in the second slide we saw the parts of plants are divided into 2 types. One is vegetative part. So what are the vegetative parts? Leaves, stem and roots. So here we have one more vegetative part which is called a bud. Now let's see how plants can reproduce using these parts with examples. This picture shows the vegetative propagation in plants. You don't need seeds at all. Look at the first picture. There is a pot and there is a plant. Now when you cut a part of that plant and place it in water or soil, it grows into a new plant by developing roots. Do you know an example? A money plant. Yes, if you do not know, you can ask your teacher. You just cut a part of the plant and place it. And then there is a new plant that's growing from there. There's another example that's a potato, which we can see in detail in the next slide. Then you have a plant wherein the runner develops and from there a new plant grows. Then you have the bulb that's split. What's a bulb? An example is what you eat almost every day. That's an onion. When you place an onion with a shoot in the soil, it splits into multiple onions and new bulbs or new plants arise. So, what is this vegetative propagation? By stem. A node is a part of the stem or branch from where the leaf arises. Cutting a node and planting it in the soil gives rise to a new plant. This picture shows you what a node is. So you have to just cut the plant near the node and place it in soil. And from there you get a new plant. The examples are rose plant and money plant. We shall move on to the next vegetative propagation example. From the eye of a potato, a new shoot arises. This you can even try at home. The next is from the leaf. How do you get a new leaf? How do you get a new plant from the leaf bud? This plant is called bryophyllum, wherein the leaf buds arise from every leaf. When one of the leaf buds fall into moist soil, then that develops into a new plant. This is the way bryophyllum reproduces. There are no seeds. After vegetative propagation, we shall move on to budding. What is budding? This is a method in which a bud is formed and the bud detaches itself. So what is it? The bud is a small bulb-like projection that grows and detaches from the parent cell. So if you take an example of an yeast, yeast is a single-celled, one-celled organism or a plant, you can say. Here it grows when the situation is very conducive. For example, it has enough moisture, enough nutrients. What happens is there's a bud that develops. It's a small bulb. After a while, the bulb grows and then it detaches from the parent plant and becomes a new cell. From there, another bud arises. This way, it develops and it reproduces. This is how yeast growing in a petri dish looks like. Vegetative propagation, budding. Now we are here at fragmentation. What do you mean by fragment? Fragment means it's a piece. So, reproduction by breaking into small pieces or small fragments is called fragmentation. An example is algae. You all must have seen this algae in a pond. Can you see? You must have certainly observed when there is a stagnant water body, you have algae there. Now, how does it reproduce? Each algae breaks into two or many fragments. Now, these fragments grow into new individuals. Then they break again. So, this is how it develops and it spreads throughout the pond or the water body. This is the last type of asexual reproduction that we are going to see, spore formation. So here the reproduction is done through spores. Here a spore germinates and develops into a new plant under favorable conditions. Now what is a favorable condition? When there is sufficient moisture, when there is sufficient air and when there is enough light. Here the spores keep floating in the air and fly for long distances. Now let's see a small picture. Can you see this? Here, this type of plant, this is called a fern. Behind, at the back side of the leaf, you have these brown spots. This is called a spore. They are in a spore bag. Now what happens is they are very light. So, they can easily fly long distances and reproduce in different places. This is called spore formation. So here we see that asexual reproduction has many types. They are vegetative propagation, budding, fragmentation, and spore formation. So we've come to the end of asexual reproduction.